everyone, and welcome to another Halloween tutorial inspired by the Conjuring 2. Okay, so starting off with a bare face. Firstly, put in some contact lenses. These are from Mesmerize. I got them from a local costume shop and they are fabulous. Okay, so first step is a black eyeliner. You are going to draw this in your waterline, your upper waterline, and basically scribble all around your eyes. This does not have to be precise at all, as long as you just make your eyes really dark. Make sure you get up to the lash line, draw a little bit over your eyes. Next, I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush and using the lovely shade Black Matte if possible. This one did have like a little flecks of sparkling, which I did not notice, but it worked pretty well. And you're just going to plaster it around the whole of your eye socket, so all over your lid, near enough up to your eyebrows, out around the end of the eye and well underneath. This is a fabulous look for covering up eye bags. You're also going to continue that a little bit down your nose, do a little bit of nose contouring just with a fluffy brush. You don't have to be precise, it's just near enough where you want to place your line. So I want to make my nose really thin. We're also going to be using some liquid latex and doing a bit of special effects work in a minute. Bringing that down to the nose, just making it a little bit darker. I also put it in my kind of smile line area and down the sides of the mouth to just darken it up a little bit. Okay, so next you're going to need a cheap makeup sponge. We're going to make our own stippling sponge. How you do this is basically take a normal everyday makeup sponge and just pinch the ends off of it, make sure there's no sharp edges, and this we're going to put to one side to use with our latex shortly. Next I'm going to take a normal cosmetic pad, rip it up, and we are going to use this with some spirit gum, and we're going to place this over our eyebrows and down our nose. So starting with the nose, I made kind of a nose plaster kind of shape, made sure it was the same length as my nose. And we're going to apply a little bit just at the top of the bridge, near enough between your eyebrows with the spirit gum, just a tiny little bit. Please make sure that you do this in a well ventilated area and do not get this anywhere near your eyes. That is very important. After that, it is just a case of dabbing on the cotton wool and sticking it down how you like. Valek, the character that I'm portraying out of the Conjuring 2, does have a very bumpy and longer nose than me, so I wanted to portray this, and this is a great way of changing your nose, changing your face shape without the hefty price tag that comes with special effects stuff. Also, rather than blocking out my eyebrows, I'm also going to cover them in cotton pads in a moment. Once I got the nose as bumpy and as long as I would like, we are going to dive into some liquid latex. Now again, this stuff is very smelly, so if you've never used it before, do not be alarmed. This is also sold all the time in Halloween shops. Using our stippling sponge, we are just going to start all around the edges of the piece of the cotton wool. Bear in mind, if you do have any hair on your face, this is going to hurt like hell when you pull it off later on, so just be careful, keep it away from your eyebrows if you can do. Using our stippling sponge, we are just going to dab away all around the edges and over the top of the whole of the cotton wool to soak it in and just make it stay in place. This is going to be a process. You're going to need to build it up in layers, but don't worry, it'll all look good in the end. Next, I'm going to work on the eyebrows. Now, obviously I don't want to use spirit gum on the brows because that'd be painful. So in order to keep this as pain-free as possible for removal later on, I ripped off again another piece of cotton pad just as large as my eyebrow or near enough, placed it where I wanted it, and then dabbed around the edge with the latex to hold it in place with just the latex without getting any hair involved. Also again as well, just be careful around that near your eyes. Close your eyes if possible when you're applying this, just in case it drips. Safety first, children, safety first. Again, cover it in latex all over the top, really soak it in, build it up in layers until you are happy with it, and repeat on the other side. Now we're going to wait for this lead to dry that's just holding on our homemade prosthetic pieces for a moment. And now we are going to get into latexing. Make sure your hair is out the way, and we're going to go back to our stippling sponge, and we are going to do the whole face. You are literally going to cover your whole face in latex. I know it's against every beauty rule in the book, but it's really, really good if you can scrunch up your face and let the wrinkles kind of show through your own frown lines, wrinkle lines around the side of your mouth. It really just adds to the whole look. I think I did roughly 2 to 3 layers in certain places at the sides of the nose and on the cheeks. This is going to give your skin that horrible, crackly, old, fall apart looking skin, and it's really, really great. Now, once you're happy with your latex placement and make sure that it's fully dry, I'm going to go back in again with the white cream paint and start dabbing that all over my face. I used a big beauty blender to just get it on there, and later, after a few layers, when you're happy with that, I used a brush to kind of pat away at the skin and add even more texture. Once you're happy with your white face, I'm going to dip into some cream paints. I just picked this up last year from a Halloween shop, and we're going to dip into the grey using a beauty blender. We're going to carve out some cheekbones. We want to make our face look really, really sunken in at the side. Valek actually has a very, very slim face, unlike Chunky Monkey over here. So just going to pat away and build up as you would like it. I used grey rather than black to just give a little bit more of a realistic shade. I also did this around the entire eye region, so it's kind of looked like my eyes were a little bit more sunken in. Back to the black eyeshadow. So taking a little bit of tiny amount of black eyeshadow, I'm going down over our new nose to really, really make it thin and more pronounced. I'm also going to do the Cupid's bow. I'm going to do down the sides of the nose and also up the nostrils. Oh yeah, don't breathe in the eyeshadow, it's not enjoyable, but really, really pronounce my nostrils and make those a little bit larger as well. Once you're happy with all of your shading, take a small detail brush and some black cream paint or whatever cream paint you want, eyeliner, doesn't matter as long as it's dark, and we're going to start going and doing squiggly lines all throughout the eye area, so up over the eyebrows, down underneath, just leading out of all of that black that we placed down earlier. And also make the nostrils a little bit more pronounced as well with the cream paint. And Valek also has like a dent in the front of her nose, or its nose, and the chin as well. So I did that as well with the black cream paint, and then with a beauty blender just buffed it in ever so slightly to make it look more realistic and like it's settled into the skin. I then scrunched up my face as much as possible and drew in some of the wrinkles that will be staying there in the future, down the sides of my nose, in my frown lines. Moving on to lips, I used again the black cream paint. You can use a black lipstick, whatever you like, and I made my top lip a lot smaller than what it usually is. We want to get that real kind of straight across line for a lip that she has. I filled in the bottom lip the same way and then made it messy. So with a beauty blender, buffed it out to the corners of my mouth and buffed it down onto my chin a little bit. Again, using the same technique that we did with our eyes, you're going to take a small little brush and go back to doing the little lines up onto the top lip, basically every angle moving out from the mouth. And with that, the look is complete. All you need is some fabulous accessories. I picked this little setup from the costume shop. It was super duper affordable. This look to me is what Halloween is all about. Let's go scare some children. And remember, kids, your teeth don't last forever, so remember to brush. Happy Halloween, everyone. See you soon.